episode 28 of Deadwood. Full faith and credit. So would you like to briefly explain the events of Full Faith and Credit, the fourth episode of season 3?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, not much happens in this episode.
The bank opened.
But yeah, not much happens in terms of plot.
No,
it's all incidental stuff in this episode.
Yeah.
So yes, the big event in the town this week is the bank opening finally, after episodes and episodes about teasing it.
Yeah, bank opens up. John Langrish, still the theatre company people.
He makes an offer to Jody Stubbs to buy the Chesame building, which houses the schoolhouse.
Yeah.
And
Hostetler's back.
Hostetler and the General.
The General.
Are back in town.
Yep.
Which causes tension between them and Steve the Drunk, who's also a raging racist.
Yep.
Who in another time would probably be a KKK member.
Yes. Yes, he is a repugnant,
horrible
character.
Yeah.
But I did think this episode actually humanised him a little. Even though he is awful and repugnant, he's clearly frustrated and angry at the world, and he's taking it out on the people even more vulnerable than him.
Yes.
Yes, he's as you were saying before, they've got the free cast of Bar. So you've got the Cy Tolliver one's the top one, then Al's, and then the number 10. He's like the loser of the number 10 who no one likes in there. Yeah.
The number 10 is a favourite location of mine. It's where where all the losers go. It's like, it's not as glamorous as Rebellion Union. Yeah. It's not as
welcoming as the Gem.
Welcoming, as the Gem.
Yeah.
It's just a shitty bar.
It is.
That serves depressed people.
Yeah,
it's great. I love it.
Yes.
And Steve the Drunk is the lowest of the low there.
Yeah. Really well played. I don't know who the actor is who plays Steve the Drunk, but he really gives it his all with those N-words flying and.
Yep.
Like, I thought there's the great moment where he's talking about the horse, saying like they don't even take responsibility. Clearly angry at himself for allowing William to die. Yes, it's strange this one, because it's still clearing away business from season 2, which is Bullock's son dying, William. Yes, William's horse is brought back into town by Hostetler. That's sort of the excuse he uses to come back to Deadwood and back to the livery. And this is an episode and all that focuses on Bullock, probably to a greater extent than anything since season 1.
That's true, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the whole thing of Bullock going around trying to solve these two guys' problems, and he's clearly getting more and more frustrated and angry, and he just wants these two people to make peace, and he's got to do it.
Yeah, and they just won't agree on anything. Yeah. It's a great indictment of how just ignorant and racist these two people are. They just can't trust each other at all, and it's just ridiculous. It's great. I love the Hostetler storyline in this episode.
It's really good. Yeah.
It's really well handled. It's great. It makes perfect sense, obviously, for the characters. I think they could have brought him and the horse back and had it really bad. It could have been like a really poor excuse. Yeah. To explore, Bullock would have just been it would have just ridden him up. But the fact that he's actually quite calm about it, and the fact that he seems pained, obviously, but he's not going out and murdering.
Yeah, like he understands it's an accident.
Yeah.
It's not like it. But Bullock's an angry man, but he's an angry man where I think it's deservedly placed. Yeah. You know what I mean? He's not going to go off on one because, he's like, oh, it was an accident, but I'm angry at you. He's not like that.
No. What I found interesting about Deadwood is, if you consider where it was placed, this is good because it's a Bullock episode, it's a good example to talk about. During the TV landscape when this came out, were a lot about anti-heroes and things.
Like Tony Soprano.
Or Omar from The Wire is another one obviously you haven't seen. Or Don Draper in Mad Men or something like that. Yeah. It's interesting because there aren't really any anti-heroes on Deadwood, are there?
Not really.
Bullock is unambiguously the hero, isn't he? He doesn't do anything that's bad really, does he?
Not really.
He's almost heroically virtuous. And even the other characters, there's some Alberts in this episode. Even he at this point is now sort of the hero.
Yeah, definitely.
Fighting Hearst. This episode's weird now because it doesn't have any Hearst business really.
Yeah, not really. There's a meeting between Cy, Al, and Hearst.
Yeah.
Don't know which comes of it.
No. Hearst may leave or he might not do.
Oh yeah. That's almost to take away from it really.
Yeah. It's true. I like and all in this episode because I like the bit as well with Joni. where she's trying to find a way to sort of give up the whorehouse.
Yeah.
But not to... Because obviously that feeds into the idea of the characters building something out of tragedy.
Yeah.
So out of the tragedy of the whores being killed in her whorehouse last year, now it's now she's got the schoolhouse, she wants something new to come from that, so it feeds into that. And brilliantly well acted by everyone in that. Guy who plays Charlie Utter.
He's a delight as always.
He is a delight. He's one of the best. He's probably the best supporting character in here. Really.
I think so. Yeah, I love Charlie Utter. Yeah.
Outside of Al, Seth, and Alma, he's like the big important character. He's at the heart of the show.
I love it. Whereas like he comes up to Bullock and Bullock's trying to sign the deal between Hostetler and Steve the Drunk, and he's like, "You got my ears. Keep it short." And it's like, well, you see, I got this proposition, and what if I was to say that I wanted to speak through dirty stands, but I want to speak on behalf of her, and if I want to ask you, officer, of your wife, I'll come through you. And he goes into this huge rambling thing, he's like, you call that short? He's like, and then he kind of is really frustrated himself.
Yeah. But yeah, it's he's great, and it's like, this is a really warm, funny episode, unexpectedly.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah. Like the last 3 episodes have been quite grim, because they've all been about the theme of obviously powerlessness that the characters feel at the at this looming Hearst coming. But this is more just sort of like standard day in Deadwood.
That's it.
As I say, Hearst barely plays into it, and it's
Hal's having some problems getting it up,
keeping his end up,
keeping the British end up.
Not a lot of whiskey in his bottle. He's a bar owner. Yeah. We got 2 Al gets a blowjob scenes.
Yeah, the scenes where it's almost like a Deadwood trope.
Yeah.
Where like when Al gets a blowjob, he always goes off on these huge like speeches all about like who he is and his current position, or like a piece of backstory or whatever. Yeah. I guess he just feels comfortable when he's getting a blowjob, and he can open up to people. Yeah. And in this one, like he's struggling to get it up.
Yeah.
Which is, I suppose, is powerlessness.
Yeah. Well, his end speech is about powerlessness, being held down from... Again, it was a ridiculous backstory. Did you get what he was talking about?
Yeah.
His mother getting kept on a ship to New Orleans.
Yeah. And he wanted to go after her, but he couldn't because he was being restrained. Yeah.
So again, that feeds into the like the whole season being about like these characters reduced to a powerless position. Yeah. And like how Al's feeling after getting his finger chopped off. So yes, that's a great scene. I love there's a great moment in the first blowjob scene where Al's talking, he's like, who are you going to vote for sheriff? And she goes, Harry Manning. And he goes, no, Bullock. And she goes, but he shouts at you.
Yeah, I liked that, yeah. Sheriff Bullock yells at you. Yeah, I liked that.
It's great, that character who's essentially, the focus she is just a replacement for Trixie. Yeah. Now she's gone off to work in the bank. It's great. She's like a proper character and has things just through a little piece of dialogue.
Opinions and yeah,
it's great. Do you have any problems with this episode?
Not particularly.
No.
It's a really good episode.
Yes.
Like all the others in season 3, they've all been really great. Yeah. They've just not been like amazing.
They've not
season 2 standard.
Yeah.
Which that's I think gonna be the problem with season 3.
Yeah.
Like you said, the Hearst stuff is so like big and broad and exciting compared to what else is going on. Yeah. There's really not much.
No.
Besides some little incidental things, which is all fine. I like all the little incidental stuff. It's all really good stuff. It's just not as exciting.
No. Well, it's almost like with this episode, it's almost in the shadow of season 2.
Yeah.
Because they are still dealing with season 2 plotlines. I suppose the problem with having season 2 be so big and epic and like this massive sprawling season is that the next season's going to have to deal with some of that fallout.
That's it, yeah.
And it could weigh it down. I think it's interesting what they've decided to do with it in this episode. Yeah. And the next episode I really like. That's an easy 10 out of 10. That's by far the best episode of season 3 so far. Two-headed beast. But yeah, I love the next episode. It's weird this episode because it's almost a 2-part with the next one. So judging this one is quite hard based on like because all the plot lines that are brought in this episode are paid off in the next one. Okay. So you get a lot like if you think about it, at the end of this episode, like the Hostetler stuff's not been resolved. Yeah. At all. And then like the only one that's really been brought to an end is the Joni one. And even the Joni plotline is more to explore her feelings about like I love the scene by the way with Jane where Joni's like, "You'll always have a place to stay."
I liked that. Yeah, that was nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really sweet.
The relationship between those two is probably the best thing I think about season 3.
Yeah.
Like it feeds into a lot of. They explore that a lot further on. But yeah, it's a great. What would you give this episode out of 10?
It's an 8 or a 9.
I think it's an 8.
Yeah, 8's fair. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Yeah.
Very good. Again, you can't fault any of the technical aspects.
Oh no, it still looks amazing.
Yeah, there were some shots like when they're in that number 10 and like just the way that like the bar feels so fully realised.
Yeah,
it's just incredible. And there were one I was impressed at when they were just in the gem and it was full. Just how much detail there was in the frame and everything was just incredible.
There's so many things going on.
There are so many things.
The frame is so dense.
Yeah,
so many things going on.
Yes. But in many ways, this is quite a short one because the next one is going to pay off all this stuff. So don't you worry, the next episode's brilliant.
Okay,
but
good.
Yes, stay tuned for a two-headed beast. Do you have anything to add to that, or do you think this was quite
That's fine.
It's quite a light episode.
A light episode, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm assuming the next one will be longer. So yeah, watch out for that.